a lot right there. And then also you can take time too in a meditative manner that you just see yourself being cleansed, bringing balance, bringing harmony. You know, as I work with classes in fellowship, I've taught for fellowship for like 38, 39 years now. And it's been an interesting energy there. And I see a lot of people that sometimes we allow ourselves to be so open that we're too open. And we're then letting ourselves be bombarded by all the input that we're getting from everybody else. And it even becomes more imperative to you to recognize that when it's family, because you love them, you care about them. And I just see you learning to step back more now. And it's like you've watched the same things occur, maybe a little different subject matter, but the same things occur over and over. And
You're
now
right.
you stepping back enough consciously and in a meditative manner, you just consciously set that intent. Here I am, here's why I'm here, this is what I'm doing, and to clear yourself completely. And I would do that before you even walk in somewhere to go for readings, to work with people. But I also look at that too before each reading. I said a prayer in my mind before we got on the air here, and I find myself centering myself in that manner, and that way we can bring balance to what we're sharing and giving.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. God bless you.
Thank you. You also.
Next person, hands up. Question? You have a question, anyone?
Okay, you want it? Okay.
Yes.
Hang on. Let me unmute her. Sarai.
So grateful that you're doing this.
Hi, Sarai. How are you?
Hi, okay, and you? Reverend, I just wanted to ask you, many years ago, it happened to me a few times that I started calling people by the wrong name, and I was kind of aware that I was calling them by the wrong name, but I didn't know why. I thought I was just being, I don't know, spaced out or something. And then I discovered that it was their middle name. This happened to me a few times. What was I perceiving? Like, I don't know, that was strange.
You're picking up on a deeper level of mediumship with the person, and you're picking up on the middle name. And I've had it happen to myself where I'd call someone their last name, or I'd call someone a completely different name. And I find that we also at times pick up with the lifetimes. I've had it happen where I've said names to people and they just look at me really odd, like this isn't my name, but yet I know it was their name, but I recognize it as a tie to another lifetime. Okay. And when you're picking up middle names, sometimes the middle name is actually more powerful than the first name, and sometimes the parents or family would be calling them by the middle name, and you're recognizing the energy of recognition, so you're giving them recognition by using the middle name.
It's a form of mediumship, you said?
Yes, you're feeling things beyond the consciousness, and that's why you respond to it so easily. You would share the name, and all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, that's their middle name. And I feel it's a recognition point. I have many people that have said to me, when I would pick up a name, I'd say the name, and they would say to me, well, that's my middle name. And there's a deep recognition there. How many parents name the middle name after someone in spirit, and how it comes through stronger for them.
Okay. Thank you, Reverend.
You're welcome. God bless you.
You too.
Anyone else have a question here? You can raise your hand. Let me see your hand. Can I see your hand again?
Guys, you want to ask the people on the phone so they can't see? You
Yes.
can't see. We're going to unmute both people on the phone.
All right. Hello, you're on the phone, and I can't see you, and I don't imagine you can see me.
Ask them if you have any questions.
Do you have any questions? You're on live. Do you have any questions?
No, just wanted to hear what you had to say.
Oh, okay. No question at all, huh?
No.
Well, where are you communicating from?
I'm from Williamsport, Pennsylvania.
Well,
I
yeah,
talk to you a lot.
there's a very strong energy there with you, and very determined energy. And I feel with you, learning is something you just soak it up like a sponge, and it's a wonderful energy. And I realize you're one of my clients.
That's right. And I'm wanting to learn as much as I can.
That's
I am one of your clients.
You don't have a question at all about mediumship or anything?
I don't think I'm quite there at mediumship yet. I don't feel like I feel like I'm feeling things, but I don't think I'm anywhere near a mediumship.
Well, I think you're feeling things and sensing things, but you're not making a tie to what it means. And then later on, a deja vu occurs, and you realize that it meant something to you more than you realized.
I think you're right. Yeah, you're right.
And sometimes you get very nervous and upset about things, and you don't know what or why. And then at a later time, you start recognizing, wait a minute, when the event occurs or the circumstance occurs that you hear about it, then there's a relief that it's like, well, I think that's what it was, what I was feeling.
Exactly. That is exactly right. I guess I don't trust myself enough to go to say,
Right.
I think this is right. Yeah.
Well, that's where we all, as individuals, you can say mediumship. Some people say, well, I'm not a medium. But I'll put it this way. We all have a gift. We all have an understanding and sensitivity to things, but not always are we following through on what we feel. And a lot of times what that is, we're not really completely aware of being able to pinpoint what we're feeling. Therefore, we sometimes hold back from trusting it. And sometimes
Amen.
we may not even recognize exactly where it does apply. And that's what you're coming to now, is learning that you have it, it's there, and taking the next step of quietness and calmness of allowing Spirit to put it in a position you understand.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Another one on the phone here.
Greg, this is Nancy in
Hi.
Ohio.
Yes.
My problem is I talk to spirit and I don't feel like, I'm getting any signs or anything. And all of a sudden they'll take a conversation I had about something that happened to me and they'll throw a big sign out there. But I'm not getting any messages really, except that they're there.
Well, I feel
I don't
that's
know how to feel.
that's the first step of Spirit really communicating, is that they're making their presence known. And as they work with you more, you're going to have more awareness of their presence. And then pretty soon it reaches a point of a guidance and a message, and it will start to expand for you. And it's something, if you sit in meditation in a calm manner, and you allow yourself to put out the intent and thought, just saying to Spirit, please come to me in a way that I may understand, and allow them to reach me in a manner that I would know and recognize in a conscious way.
Okay.
Because you have the ability, I just feel with you that there's a little fear there. Sometimes you really want to know, and sometimes you look at things and think, well, I'm not really sure if I do want to know. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Good. God bless you. Anyone else have a question? Please raise your hand. I can see you on the screen. If you raise your hand, I'll come to you.
Eleanor has a question.
Hi, Eleanor.
Am I unmuted?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So my question is, I wonder if my expectations are too high. I can hear things and I can see things, but I think it's never enough. I should be clearer. Your computer's too close.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's too. I'm wondering if I have my expectations are too high about what I can perceive, because I do perceive things.
It's unlimited what you can perceive, dear, but the idea of understanding it. Sometimes you'll feel things and Spirit practices with us, and we start realizing more and more how Spirit reaches out and helps us. And it's something that you're having experiences, but sometimes you're not connecting how and why the experience is there, or what subject or situation does it pertain to. And that's what I'm seeing, learning to tap into more, is allow it to come through in a way. You can set up a program in your mind and say, okay, I recognize your presence. I welcome you being here. Thank you for coming. Is there a message you may share with me? Please share it with me in a way that I may understand. And by setting up that scenario, you're having them tap in better to your energy and their ability to be in a frequency that you could really hear and listen to.
Okay.
And you have the ability with healing also, because I feel like you've been doing laying on of hands or thinking about laying on of hands more.
Yes, I do Reiki treatments. Yeah, lots of them.
I want to say the channel of energy you're using with Reiki is the very same channel of energy used with messages. It's just done in a different way. It's like a battery tool. You pull the battery out of the drill, you put it in the flashlight or the power saw, you're doing the same thing. And it's something that if you're working with the Reiki, which I feel you have more confidence in and you have more focus on, it's something there that realize you're taking a battery out of one and putting it in the other. And that's going to make the difference for you, because what you're doing is coming from a point of confidence, and then you go to a point of thinking, well, I don't know, how do I do this? And I feel it's really basically the same energy in a healing, and that's what I'm seeing, learning to tap into more and allow it.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't thinking of them as the same. So
Yeah. Well, I look at it this way. I've always said to people with healing, when I give a reading, I'm reading for someone, but I very much believe the healing energy flows through the reading also. And I've had it happen many times where they would say to me after the reading, well, I don't have the headache, or I don't have the back pain, or my hip doesn't bother me now. And I just sort of smile, because I know Spirit works at us and with us in a deeper way than what we're consciously realizing and what we hang on to. Have any of you had an experience where you get a healing, or someone would get a healing, and then all of a sudden it's like they felt better, everything's great, it's working wonderfully, but then the conditions come back? Because at times people have not allowed themselves to progress in that healing energy and allow the healing energy to fully manifest. Because what we're learning by the illnesses we have or circumstances we're in, we sometimes don't want to learn and really accept. And if we look at things as an acceptance, and we're learning from it as an acceptance, I hear people all the time say, well, I'm learning that. And I find if we accept it, when we're learning, we're taking parts of it we like and want, and we allow that, and the rest of it we keep pushing away, even though that's a part of our learning and lesson, and allowing ourselves to experientially absorb that. And then it really is a healing, and then it really is a harmony. And with you working with the healing already, you already have the channel open. It's just allowing yourself now to fulfill that ability and put the battery in the mediumship part and work with that more.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome. God bless you. Someone else raise their hand? You have a question?
Let's ask the person at the 608 area code number if they have a question.
The 608 area code number, you have a question?
Oh, that's me. Greg, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, hi. I've been trying to get to Facebook, but it's not working, so I can't raise my hand. So thank you for coming over to me. So thank you for also doing this. So I'm wondering, Greg, what the heck is going on with my son has some different bands, and he's in a band with a young woman, and they're not in the relationship together, boyfriend, girlfriend. They're still doing the music together. There is a musician who's really helping her out, and on her part, things seem to be really blossoming and blooming, and they're not being very straightforward with my son about what's going on. So it's really confusing, and Gabe tries to not get in the muck of it.
Well, that's
but
a little personal question, but I'll answer it for now. I was trying to work with just questions about mediumship and healing. But
I'm sorry.
There, as I see an energy with him that emotionally he does care about her, but I feel the energy with her that I could see her really unanchored in a sense of what direction she's going. And I could see him needing to step back a bit and let her have to decide where she's really going to be, because I don't see her having any idea.
Okay.
And I feel with your son, he has a lot of ability, and I'm seeing him having other abilities to work in other directions with other people. And I feel there's a little game going on between the other person and her, and I feel it's something he's on the outside looking in. And I can see him stepping back from it and realizing he doesn't want to be drawn into all that energy. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And so sorry about that, Greg.
That's all right. That's okay.
So there's so many spiritual questions I do have. I'm not quite sure what or how to ask.
Well, one of the first things around you, I feel with you, dear, you can be a sponge and you absorb all these energies from everybody, and you pick up on about time, and it gets really very confusing because I'm seeing you feeling so many things in so many directions, and a need for you to, in a meditative way, draw yourself back and anchor yourself in your own energy and not allow the energy of everyone to affect you so deeply. That's taken a toll on you, and it's really messing you up at times because I'm seeing you at times really questioning, I'm feeling a lot, but what am I feeling and who's it connected to, instead of being able to know that it's yours.
Yeah. Yeah. You
It's
know, and
centered.
when Greg, when we talk about feeling things, I have really strong feelings about things. But the thing is, I also know that I don't have the full information, and I also know that I could be wrong.
Well, you have
So
to
it's,
put out the intent that when you're asking something from spirit or spirit brings you something randomly, I always send out the thought of intent that please share this with me in a way that I may understand completely. And I find at times they'll share things with me that they're not meaning to be given to the person, but it gives me a picture of exactly what's going on, and I can share with them then what they're needing that's the most pertinent for that circumstance or that person.
yeah,
Okay?
yeah, yeah, okay. Thanks, Greg.
You're welcome.
Thank
God
you.
bless. We'll do another phone call here.
You already did those two.
Okay, we did those two.
But Susan has a question. Let me unmute her. Okay, Susan.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Greg. I'm new to this Zoom, so I guess I should use my phone. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. I can hear you just fine. This is my first
Okay.
time too, dear. Don't feel bad. I was wondering if it's all going to line up, and it's working fairly well, I think. I just have to practice more.
Okay, great. This is wonderful. I've noticed in my entourage that so many people are experiencing intense anxiety and
Yes.
panic attacks. Have you found that as well? And I'm wondering why. And what can we do to help each other, with these feelings?
Well, if we look at the world around us, how many hurricanes and earthquakes and tsunamis and all these things going on
Right.
in nature, and then on top of that, people are not really playing nice. There's a lot of people out there being very negative, and I find that we're picking up on that. I've noticed it myself. I've noticed it in clients I work with where they're like, why am I feeling so stressed and so tense? Maybe they're in a job relationship they have, nothing's changed, everything's fine. And we're realizing we're picking up on the energy around us, literally around us. And we're needing to be aware of that energy is really quite powerful, and we're needing to be able to step back enough consciously and realize that we're needing to wring out the sponge. We're the sponge. We need to wring it out and bring balance back in ourselves and re-anchor ourselves to what we know is center. And as we do that, then we'll see things more clearly and recognize all the drama, trauma, and stuff going on that we can step back from. I have a circle on Wednesday nights over here at Fellowship of the Spirit, a spiritualist church that I've worked with for years. And I always say to people in the end prayer that may we be the light and presence of God's energy, healing light and love. May we be in line to touch everyone in the world around us, and they're the beacon of light to touch others. And I always put forth that intent and energy to allow the harmony to be there and bring the healing. And that's something there that, literally it encompasses the world. And we're needing to realize with all the craziness we have with, let's say, spiritual leaders and government leaders. I mean, I'm sure everyone has seen the news and all the stuff happening. But we're needing to look at that as the most powerful way we can change things for the better is our own intent and prayer. And by working with that, by first off calming ourselves and bringing balance in our own body and mind, and then bring balance to others around us. I work with people all the time and I read for people all the time, and it's really interesting at times how much we absorb from the world around us, and we can take it on and carry it very deeply. And we need to recognize how deeply we're carrying it. And remember, the vibration of others is certainly floating all around us all the time. And being open is one thing, but allowing ourselves to be the sponge is another. And all the people around the world that are in pain and emotional pain and turmoil, I feel it. I've been feeling the thing before the earthquake happened. I was really restless. I felt the energy. I said to a friend of mine, I said, there's going to be another hurricane, and here they pop out with the news again, and there's another hurricane. So it's like all these different things going on. Like I've known a lot of people in Texas. I've known a lot of people in Florida. I winter in Florida, and there's a ton of people who are calling me days before it even hit. And it's like, should I leave? Should I stay? What should I do? And it was a lot of times there that it's like, they'll get overwhelmed. And when you get turned away at a shelter twice and you've driven to the shelter and they turn you away because the shelter's already full, that can be a little scary. And I talked to her on the phone, her and her husband, and I talked to them for quite a while. And Spirit brought through the idea that it wasn't going to go in their house. It would come up the embankment out of the canal, but it would not go in their house. It came within 6 inches of going in their house. And then it receded. And she was very, very, very uptight about the whole thing. But, when we ask Spirit to guide us and help us, and we can separate ourselves and keep the clarity, like I was talking to a number of people that day, for example, related to Florida. And I keep re-cleansing myself in a sense of not allowing myself to carry on the conscious energy and the emotional energy of what's going on. And that keeps the clarity. And any one of you that has anything to do with your intuitive abilities, you're using them. We need to be aware of keeping ourselves clear, so that way when we do have things come in, there's a clarity and depth with it that we're not missing it. I find there's a lot of people at times, we overlap emotions along with what we're getting from Spirit. And that is natural and happens all the time. I find it in myself. I have to stay focused on clarity. And that's something we need to do. And with you, you're picking up on the world around you, and you're picking up on all the people you talk to and help. You've always been a fix-it person. You've been there for them. And it's been a hard energy for you to sit back and say, but when I'm talking to them, they may not be calming down, and they may not be getting centered. Some of them won't be. Some of them won't be. I've reached a point with some people where you surround them in light, you bless them, you talk to them in a way you can, and then you step back, you just put them in healing.
Yeah.
Okay, any other question?
That's good for now. Thank you.
You're welcome, dear. God bless. Anyone else have a question? Raise your hand, please. All righty. Contact info to reach me would be www.rev, R-E-V, Gregory Kehn, Kehn.com. That'd be Rev, R-E-V, Gregory Kehn, Kehn.com. Phone number to reach me here for any appointments. You can do it over the internet or you can do it over the phone. That'd be 716-595-3529. 716-595-3529. I've been in Lilydale now and registered medium here for like 46 years, and I've enjoyed doing this. And I find the energy around people, we may get older and look at life a little differently, but we have a lot of the same questions. And I find that there's so many things going on spiritually in the world that I think one of the most important parts is to be centered and be calm, and to do that in a prayerful mode and allow ourselves to be in that space. I start the morning with asking God to guide me in a way that I can receive and feel and know. And I ask that energy to be something that is a purity and keeping me out of the way consciously, allowing it to come through in a most pure form. All of us are going to have that human recognition of emotion. We're going to have that recognition of being a part of what's going on. But we're needing to step back enough and realize for the purity of Spirit to come through, we need to send out that intent and thought that we're asking for that purity. Remember, our free will is something here. I look at destiny, I look at free will, and I see people all the time talking about free will and learning, and then they talk about destiny. I believe destiny as our lessons are coming. Free will is how we're going to learn them. Are we going to learn them in a manner that we can accept and understand and work with in the highest and best manner? Or are we going to be in a position where we allow ourselves to emotionally get caught up in things? I've taught some classes with kids, and I use the example of when God drives a bus, he'll take us to the right spot at the right time and give us directions to go where we need to. And that's something that we need to recognize in ourselves and realize that we sometimes get into a fearful state of mind or a doubtful state of mind, and then we can really muck things up and not have the focus we really need to have. When we look at this thing, we look at free will. I see them so closely tied together. In what way are we wanting to bring balance in our lives and have things in a calm and harmonious manner? We have to choose that. We literally are making a choice. It's not just happening one way or the other. We're making a choice. And if we make that choice in an intent form, set an intent, setting it with a prayer, we're going to have the harmony. Anybody have any questions? Raise your hand, please. All righty.
You want to do the first reading?
I'll do the first reading.
Richard?
Richard. Hello, Richard.
Hi.
Let's start with a question since we're on the air here, and we'll go from there.
Sorry. Okay. Sorry. What are you asking me?
I said if you'd like to start with the first question, I will go from there with what I'm picking up.
Okay. What do I need to do to keep attachments off of me, just to keep my vibration up?
I feel you're more aware now of that than you've ever been, and I feel your sensitivity has been rising. Your ability and your deja vus and mediumship has been rising. And on the idea of attachments, what I feel with you is sometimes through your compassion, you're opening yourself almost too much. And I feel there's some people around you that would cling to your energy and pull on you pretty hard, even in the living. Not only from the spirit side, but even in the living. And I felt your ability to be centered and be calm is really the key. If you find yourself feeling too scattered or too intense with things, to bring yourself back to center in a sense of calmness and bring it back in a meditative manner will make a huge difference. That's going to allow you to bring the harmony there. With attachments, you ask Spirit to do the cleansing, and they will come in and work with you and cleanse it. It doesn't have to be there. You don't have to have these things bothering you.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. God bless.
Next person is Eleanor.
Hi, Eleanor. Ask a question first, and I'll go with the reading.
Name is it? Is it me? Oh.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
I can hear you, dear.
We're all mixed up here.
That's all right.
All right.
I'm mixed up too. Don't worry.
Okay, so I've recently become involved, in the last couple of years with a certain organization, and I seem to be taking on a different role with it. And I'm getting I'm not sure what I should be doing with this organization. I know people want me to do certain things, but I'm not sure what I want to do. And I feel it might be a calling as well. So
let's put it this way. I feel your ability to keep the purity and keep the honesty is where you're striving from. And some of the people there are wanting to use this as a tool to reach the point of what they want. And whether it's ego-driven or emotionally driven, it's a driving of energy that you sometimes look at as not having the purity of what you sometimes feel should be.
yes.
And I feel your ability to keep the purity is your intent, your focus, and you can develop that more. I do feel you have 3 people around you that try to maneuver a little bit to almost do things behind the scenes in a sense where they'll ask you things or request things or want you to do certain things, but they don't want to do it out front in front of everyone. They want to do it behind the scenes.
Yes.
And I'm seeing you bringing things out front, putting it right out front. It's like they're showing me a symbol of a podium. And it's like, I want to be right out front with it and say, here's suggestions I've recently have received. And I could see you then shutting some people down that want to manipulate because they don't want to be recognized as what they're doing. And I'm seeing you being able to have a great deal of people recognize your honesty and recognize your intent that you're setting, and that'll bring balance in your life and bring the harmony to you that you've really been desiring.
Okay.
And you've been having a thought recently that there's a few people there that are in the core that are really good people that have a good, deep honesty with things. And then you have a few others that they're wanting to, let's say, rise to power.
Yes.
That makes sense?
Yeah. There's it has to do. There's shifts that are happening in the leadership.
Yes. Well, you actually have 3 levels of leadership there.
Okay, where am I?
You have the people that have been there and been recognized as the leaders.
That's
Then
right.
you have the people that are undermining the leaders and trying to maneuver what they want.
Yes.
And I feel you're on a new end of it coming in, where now they're trying to make sure they get you, in quote, on their side to do what they want. And I feel you have to follow the heart, because it's not an easy position to be in, because you're learning to follow the heart of what you really feel. And that's going to develop more. That's going to be a good energy for you.
Okay, so there's potential for me to stay involved in this situation if I manage it right, I guess.
If you manage it from the heart center and you're doing it with the intent of spirit, you're going to be fine. I feel every organization has spirit within it, and spirit works with it. And sometimes we get the wrong people in power. And I feel like you're realizing there's been a few people that want power that are really the wrong people to have power.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I just see you being centered in you and carrying it out from what you feel from spirit right there. All right?
All right, great, thank you.
You're welcome. God bless.
Next person will be Nancy from Ohio.
Nancy from Ohio.
Hello.
Hi, what's your question? I'll start with that.
I've been writing a lot lately, and I feel like I should be writing a children's book and maybe even illustrating it.
I feel very good about that, and I feel with you. You already had something partially written,
Yes.
and you haven't followed through on that one, and it's been off and on energy where you would and then you wouldn't. I feel you've been back and forth on it quite a bit, really.
Yes.
I see you taking time to start again, and I feel part of that book I see you really utilizing, and then I see you editing a bit and changing a little bit with it, but it's a good energy. I want to take the time to fulfill it. I think it'll work very well. I also felt an energy there. Would you understand taking little tiny short stories and putting it in a small little booklet where it's like, it's almost like a thought for the day type booklet. It's not a huge booklet, but it's a little short story and a spiritual understanding and lesson.
Yeah.
I feel really good about doing that. I just see it as a matter of time to allow yourself to do that, and there's a need to let that happen and not debate it, just allow it to occur.
Okay.
All right? Any other question?
When you say set your intent, what does
Yeah.
that mean?
Send your intent with a prayer. You can have it be like a prayer of asking guidance in whatever direction you're wanting to go in, and you're asking spirit to help you and guide you. And you have to remember to allow yourself to give that energy out. But then as you allow the energy out, you have to sit back and be a little quieter and let spirit bring it to you. Because sometimes we get in a hurry and we want the answer right now, and we're not always going to get the answer that fast. You also
Okay.
have a family situation around you that you love them, but you're at a point emotionally where you feel like I can't correct what they're doing, even though you know you want to.
True.
And I want to
Yeah.
say you've had an influence on them, but I just see such a strong-willed energy there, and they're going to do what they want to do the way they want to do it. And I'm just seeing you stepping back enough now and surround them in light and silence and allow it to be a circumstance of spirit works for them instead of you trying to consciously do it. Okay?
Yes.
Good. God bless you.
Thank you.
You take care.
Thank you too.
Thank you.
Next person is Judy.
Hi, Judy.
Hi, Greg.
Hi. What's your question?
I don't know if I have a question as much as what would Spirit give me some advice in regards to my own spiritual development or my mediumship?
I feel your ability in mediumship's wonderful and you have a lot of ability, but I feel like there's times you get diverted by other people, and I feel you get diverted by their experiences. And I'm seeing you stepping back a bit and realizing, I can tie an anchor and I can have a little tether and I can go, move around with it. But sometimes you feel unanchored and I have to then draw myself back to center and re-anchor again. And I'm seeing you being able to do that more and bring balance. Also, would you recognize you've been stepping back in your own experience of life and feeling like there are people around you that were actually very, very draining. And I'm seeing you starting to step back more now and realize I can't take on all the energy that they're willing to go with. I just can't keep trying to fix it. Because you were trying to fix it and it's not working very well. And you've been noticing recently that you've been having an uneasy sleep pattern. Because I feel like you're not sleeping deeply. I feel you're carrying some other energies from other people. And I just want to do a little meditation and do a cleansing. Just imagine yourself being cleansed. It's like almost like standing under waterfalls and allow it to flush through you. And I feel by allowing that to cleanse your energy, it's going to make the difference. You sometimes unmistakably take on things because your compassion is there and you have a compassion for them in the circumstance they're in. And you also have had some people that you've spoken to more than once that they seemingly have the same problem over and over. And I feel like, we can help someone and guide someone and certainly give them guidance, but it doesn't mean you're going to listen.
Right.
It just doesn't mean you're going to listen.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. God bless.
Thank you.
Next person is Sarai.
Hello, Sarai.
Hi, how are you? Okay. All right. I've asked something similar before, but it's like forever haunting me. I'm like so confused. Okay, if I was to purchase a home, I wrote this down because I have trouble speaking sometimes. Okay, if I purchase a home outside of New York City, would my daughter allow me to bring the grandbabies with me to the new home, possibly even have them attend school where I'm moving to, or would she be totally against that? And would I not be able to have that contact with them if I move, because it will be like about 3 hours and 3 hours away, or should I just stay here in the city so I could be near them?
Well, I feel at this point you're going to stay in the city at the moment, but I would say later on you're going to make a move. But remember something with your daughter. She's a bit high strung.
More than that, yes.
Because I feel an intensity energy with her and she can get very carried away. And I feel an energy with her that she's protective of her children as any mother would. But I feel with her too, she at times likes to be in charge. And I see her wanting to have that ability to be in charge on everything she's doing related to you.
Yeah, we're always butting heads.
Well, the thing I'm feeling is this. How old are the children?
One just turned 1 and the other one's 3. 2 girls. And I'm very worried about her vaccinating them, and, because I feel that's really...
Well, the energy I'm feeling is I feel, no, she wouldn't allow you to have the kids there with you if you made an immediate move. But I felt the energy of you having time to bring balance, because I don't see you making a move right away anyhow. I feel at a later time you'll make a move, and I actually feel she'll make a move. I don't see her staying in New York.
Really?
I don't think she knows that. I don't think she's thought that. I don't think she's at this point wanted that, but it's going to happen.
I worry about her. She's very reckless and does a lot of dangerous works in a dangerous environment. And
well, her energy is daring, and she's always daring. And you actually found a couple times there that you didn't hear about it when it happened, but you heard it later that she could have almost lost her life.
That's believable, yeah.
And I feel the energy around it that I want to say enjoy the grandchildren. When they get a little bit older, I feel you moving away, they would come and stay and visit and enjoy, and she'd actually like the idea that she'd have time to herself. But I feel at this point in time, I see her wanting to hang on to the control more.
Yeah, I kind of see that too. Will I be able to help protect them from vaccines? Will she listen to me on that at least?
Well, I feel an energy there, dear, that her energy is so strong-willed that if she thinks the way you do, there's no problem. But if she doesn't think the way you do, she's going to do as she pleases. But I see an anger level with her. She has a very difficult time with her own temper.
Yes.
And I see her flying off the handle at times about things that you would look at and think there's no reason to react that way. Not at all.
Yeah, she's that way. That's accurate.
And would you recognize also, you step back a bit on the financial level and you're not helping where you did before help more?
Excuse me?
you're not helping financially in the manner that you one time would have.
Yes, that's true.
Because I feel there was a time you helped more, and now I see you stepping back and not being involved in helping. I feel you have a wonderful bond with the children. I feel they love you very much, and it's not a problem. I don't feel an immediate move for you, but I would say certainly a little later on there's a move out of the city, and there's a move for her out of the city, which I don't think she sees right now. I don't feel this is in her future in a way that she'd recognize it. Okay?
Well, I'm just hoping the babies will be safe as far as vaccinations. I'm really worried about that.
I feel the children will be safe, dear. I feel they're going to be all right.
Thank you, Reverend.
You're welcome, dear. God bless.
You too.
Next person is Chad.
Hey, Chad, how you doing?
I am doing well. I wanted to thank you very much for doing this to start with. I've searched out for the longest time to have, like you do on Wednesdays, that circle and have a group of people around me, and this is fulfilling a big need in my life. So I thank you very much for that.
You're welcome. I would love to do it more, and we do have another date set up that we can do this ahead, and I will see the date in a moment.
Okay. As long as it's not a Friday or Saturday, I'll be there.
14th of November.
Okay.
14th of November, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and we'll have it on again.
Count me in. Count me in on that.
Well, this is the first one, and for everyone out there, this is sort of the first shot at it and see what we're doing, and I hope everyone's enjoying it, and it's something I'm enjoying, and I like being able to be face-to-face and communicate face-to-face and not be over the text and things like that. That's not the vibration I'd really rather work with. I'd rather be looking at the person and be able to share.
I agree 100%. Just to be able to see the facial expressions and everyone that the face to go along with the voices makes a huge difference. Huge difference.
Absolutely, absolutely. You have a question to start with?
Well, I don't know if it's probably too general of a question, but it's what's on my mind. That my brother is going through one of those classic messy divorces, and I don't know if you have any guidance or anything to really put towards that.
Well, what I feel with your brother, he's an individual that has had more than one time similar situations. And I feel an energy with him of having a lot of anger, but he also turns it around and plays victim. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And I feel an energy there that karmically, he's had a lot of karmic ties with the different women and it's been in his life. And I feel that this is not different than the other ones. It's just a different face and a different name and a different age. And I feel some of the same issues have occurred again.
Okay.
And I feel he's learning, but he really wants to do it his way, and his way's not the best way. And I feel you've tried to be helpful in influencing him, and he sometimes can shut you out.
Yeah, very much so.
And I feel I would just do it through prayer. I wouldn't even attempt to talk to him about it. I'd do it through prayer, and I feel that's going to bring a balance of energy that you'd really desire to have. And I feel it'll bring your balance also. I'm seeing you more at peace in your own emotions also. Would you understand? He gets angry and he makes things worse.
That could be. I'm not thinking of it like a direct instance, but I mean that could fit.
Well, I just see him getting very frustrated when he doesn't get the way he wanted, when he wanted. And I feel now he's at a point emotionally where it's a bit overwhelming for him, and he's having to sit back and look at things more and realize he can't play the games he used to. It's time to really expand on the idea of I want to really grow up now and emotionally have things settled.
Okay.
And I feel he will.
Okay.
Yeah. What about yourself?
Personally, I feel like in a fog as far as my energy goes, and that's what I've been quiet through this whole thing, just because I just feel like I have a fog around me. I just can't quite get it off of me, and it's just something that I just kind of have to work on, but it's there right now, and that's why I kind of worry about being here of all nights to feel like that. It's the night that we've got the group.
Well, I feel the energy around you of healing, and I do see spirit working with you. and you have a grandmother that works with you on the spirit side. I see her very close and very active in helping you. And I feel an energy there. It's been very hard because you have such a compassion for everyone around you, not only your family, but I mean, other people and circumstances also. So there's times you're carrying a lot of that in you. And I feel an energy there that I want to practice something. You know, it's almost like mailing a letter, and, you know, we're going to mail the letter, but we open it again and put PS, and we open it again and put PS. And I want to say, with your brother using this as an example, let's send out the thought and prayer and, in a sense, mail the letter. I want to seal it. I want to mail it. I want it gone. And therefore, the problem is gone, and I've let go of it, and I've put it in the best hands. Because sometimes you in a sense, worry about it, and you carry it over in your mind again and again and again, and that's not helping you. And I feel an energy there. You had a little concern recently about your mom.
Yeah.
Because I feel your mom's energy was a bit off, and I feel like you've been working with her a little more on a prayer level, healing level, and I see her improving. I see her doing better.
Good. Thank you. Thank you very much for that. And I have to say that the whole thing about sending the letter and letting it go, because I have a tendency to send the same letter over and over and over.
Yeah. One time.
One shot. That's it. I understand.
Write the letter and let go of it, and don't sit back and think that, oh, I didn't use the right words, or I need to redo it. You know, something that's going to make a difference.
Okay. That's awesome. Right. Thank you, sir.
Hey, good to hear from you. God bless.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Next person is the lady from Williamsport.
Hello, Williamsport.
Hi, I'm Cindy.
Yeah?
Yes, you know me well.
Yes.
Questions. I really don't have any questions, except I seem to be making myself sick and can't stop. But I think when you say I absorb things like a sponge, unfortunately, I absorb everything.
Oh, you take it on there. You don't miss anything.
I know I don't miss a thing. I don't. Not a trick. I know.
Would you recognize there was a circumstance just recently, something about another home or cabin energy, and that you find yourself really wondering there's more going on than what's being said?
That is correct.
And you recently been thinking about actually taking a ride there?
I didn't think of that, but I guess I should.
Because I feel an energy with you that I could see you just checking things out and see what you feel, because I feel an energy there. He's not wanting to admit things, but I feel like there's times recently he did slip up and say a few things, and it really got your mind to wondering.
Yeah.
And I feel you're picking up on it correctly, and a need for you to follow through on what you're feeling would actually be helpful to you.
Okay.
All right.
I wasn't sure. Yeah, I'm not sure how much to ever just keep going on that or just forget it, you know?
Well, I don't feel it's a big deal. It's anything imperative, but I feel it's something to satisfy yourself that what you're going to be picking up on, you'll prove to yourself it's correct.
Thank you.
All right?
All right, dear.
You take care.
God bless you.
Bye-bye.
You take care. Bye.
All right. The next person is Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Greg.
Hi, what's your question?
I really don't have one.
Okay. One of the first things around you, dear, you're very sensitive. You take things very deeply, and people don't realize how deeply. And I feel you're going through a transition in your life right now where you're redefining, what am I investing time, energy, love in? And I feel like you're looking at a lot of friendships and people around you, and you've been redefining who you feel a closeness with and who you sometimes feel now like you don't want to be as involved with as you were before.
True.
That makes sense?
Yes.
And you've also gone through a transition recently. You've been thinking about retirement?
I wish. Yes.
Well, let me say it this way. Not that you're ready, not that it's time, but I feel the thought about retirement, and I kept seeing you debating things. How am I setting things up to really be the beneficial energy that I really need to have?
That's true.
I see you putting it together now and being quite satisfied later with how you're going to line things up. Because I feel there's a part of you feeling like you don't have it set up to the degree that you really feel you want to.
Mhm.
And I feel you're going to bring that about very shortly and get that settled.
Okay.
Good energy.
Okay.
And you've been having a thought recently. I don't know who this is to you, but I feel someone in the living, a male in the living, and I feel there's been times where he has a confused energy, and you sometimes try to reach out and help, but you can't fix what he has going on. You can understand that?
Yes.
And would you understand now, how old is he?
66.
Would you recognize with him, though, you've been around him quite a while, and there's an energy there with him that I see him at times being in denial. When he doesn't want to look at something or deal with something, he just doesn't.
Yes.
And I feel with you, you're beginning to separate yourself a little bit emotionally and step back enough from it to not take on all the energy that at times you have.
Mhm.
You actually end up quite frustrated. And I'm seeing you be able to step back, and it's like his choice, his energy, that's fine. Allow it to be there.
Mhm.
All right?
Mhm.
Going to bring you a lot more peace. But I see it certainly being a better energy for you and taking more time for yourself. All righty?
Okay.
Good. God bless you.
Thank you.
You take care.
Next person is Susan.
Hi, Susan.
Hi, Greg. My daughter lives in London. I love her so very much, and I was just talking to her tonight, and a few weeks ago there was a bomb at the tube station she normally takes. Luckily, she was in Amsterdam. Tonight there was another incident at the same place near her home. Luckily, she did not get off at that tube station tonight. So she, has been very fortunate.
Well, the guardian angels have been working overtime, and they're keeping her
Yes.
safe, and they will keep her safe. Don't worry about her. She just needs to go with what she's feeling, and she'll be fine. And I do feel karmically, there's a lot of things going on there with people that I believe very much that when we have things so drastic happen, it certainly will shake people up, but there's also a karmic tie to it. And I feel an energy there with your daughter that obviously she's not a part of the karmic tie or she'd have been there for it. And I feel an energy that spirit will keep her out of the way and away from any problems. I do see her pretty daring and strong willed, in her own life, but I see it working better and being calmer.
Oh, good. Thank you. Well, she also mentioned that, that's so reassuring. Thank you, Greg. She and her boyfriend are thinking of moving to France, and they had thought of moving to the southwest of France in the area of Bordeaux, but she feels like a better chance of getting a job in Paris. Do you get
I really see her needing to follow through on her feeling of Paris because I really feel the energy is a better energy.
Uh-huh.
And she doesn't know why, but she just feels very strongly, and she needs to follow the gut feeling.
And you think she'll be able to find a job there, okay?
Yeah. I feel she'll find a job and do very well.
Awesome.
Her boyfriend wants to steer her in the direction he would like.
They have a lot of friends in Paris, and he's from Paris, so
Well, I
it
feel
would be a
things are
good.
going to work good, and I feel they'll be fine.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. God bless you.
Thank you, Greg.
Next person is Courtney.
Hello, Courtney. Hi, Courtney.
Oh, wait a minute. Here, it didn't go. Okay, now she's.
I think I got it.
All righty, we got your picture back. Here we go. What's your question there?
I'm very pregnant and my health has really put me in a bad place lately. I was recently in the hospital. Do you think things will get any better anytime soon? And will
I
this
feel
baby come?
I feel they're going to get better, and I feel more positive energy. But would you understand your white cell count was up?
It's actually very, very low.
Well, they were showing me something about bringing the white cell count in balance, and getting it back to where it needs to be, because they were symbolizing white cells. They were also symbolizing the idea, too, that you can do some natural things for that. I'm not a doctor and I cannot prescribe, but I feel an energy that you're going to find a pathway of taking some things that'll bring balance back to your body, and I feel you're going to be feeling better. And I feel it's going to really make a difference to you in your own energy as well as the baby's energy.
Okay.
And you've been having a little difficulty with a female around your life that sometimes she has opinions about what she thinks you should do, and at times it gets a little crazy.
Yeah.
And would you recognize she's doing it with good intent, but sometimes she can make you a little uneasy?
Yeah.
Well, I
Yep.
see you being calmer, and I see it working better for you to be able to have the calmness and peacefulness you're needing. And I'm seeing the baby working out wonderfully. How old's the little one here?
She's 2.
And what's her name?
Melody.
Hi, Melody.
The bug. Yeah, the bug.
Would you recognize a short time ago she explained to you that somebody was in her room?
Actually, that happens a lot.
Because I see spirit all around her, and she's fully aware of spirit's presence, and I feel they're having a wonderful time with her, and I feel it's just a really healing energy, and I feel this to be a great-grandmother, and I felt another energy there of a gentleman that I would say grandfather or great-grandfather, I'm not sure which. I see him watching over her, and I feel, honey, you got more babysitters than you could ever pay for if they were on the earth plane.
That's great.
It's a wonderful energy, and I see them very close to you and watching over things. Also, on the left-hand side of your body, I feel you've been having some twinges of pain, and I feel like it's giving you a little difficulty at times.
Yeah.
I see you getting straightened around and feeling better. I keep seeing a symbol of the baby orientating itself to a position that's going to be more positive for you, too.
Oh, that would be great.
Because I feel the way it is right now, wow.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, I get things working for you, and I see it better. Any other question?
no, that's it. Thank you so much.
Well,
I
God bless
really
you.
enjoy this.
And enjoy the little one. I do see very healthy baby, and I feel that it's a little frightening to have the things happen you've had happen. But they're showing me you balancing out the blood cells and balancing it out so it works really well. I see you being able to do that. The doctor's going to understand some things to do, but I see you doing some things in a natural way that would really bring balance to your body and your mind.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. God bless you, dear.
You too.
And the next one is the 608 area code. You did
608
Oh, yeah, that's me again, Greg. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I really enjoy. Well, good. I can't see people's faces, but I really love hearing everybody and you talking with people. And so I hope to work out somehow to be able to see the faces next month. So I'll ask Laura about that because I don't know why I can't see the faces.
Well, I was on Facebook the first time and everybody was texting, and
yeah, I remember that.
Awesome, but it wasn't in the manner I really wanted, and I felt this would work so much better.
Yeah. So I'm wondering about my brother. He's the one who's living with Mom. I try not to be concerned, and because he's living the way he's living, I'm just kind of wondering how he is physically.
I feel physically he's got some problems, but he won't admit to it, and I've seen him having a difficult time with his emotions. Would you understand he really is abusive to himself?
Oh, yeah.
Because I see a very abusive energy, and he's doing a lot of things to himself in a way that is just not the healthiest. And I feel with your mom, she's missing some of it and not realizing what's going on. And on another level, he's wanting to maneuver her a bit in belief system to believe what he wants her to believe, which is that he's the victim and everybody else is a perpetrator.
Yeah.
I know it'll change
Yeah.
some, but I don't feel you can do much with it because your mom's a person that would think that she's helping him, where in reality, all she's doing is promoting and supporting.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. I've got a question in regards to length of time living. I don't know if that's okay to ask. It just feels as though either Mom or Mark, there just is some kind of energy going on that things.
Here, I don't go into when someone passes or anything like that, but I'll say it this way. I really feel a danger of your brother having problems with health that could lead to him leaving if he does not take care of himself in the correct manner. And I do see an energy in him that he's very strong-willed in a way that he would just be in denial, that he's almost like saying, all right, here's the laws and rules of the world that don't apply to me. I can do what I want to, and it doesn't matter. And I feel like that's coming to a head for him. You know, we can only ignore reality so long, and then reality slips in. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, so my last question is, Greg, should I offer to go to the doctor with him? He's not taking medications that I think his body is probably needing. Should I offer? I know he'll probably get mad or whatever, but
I just see a burst of anger, and I see him very ticked at the idea that you would even think about being in his awareness of what's going on in life. He doesn't want anyone knowing.
Okay. Thanks, Greg.
You know, sometimes
thank
we
you,
have
Greg.
to love them where we can, when we can, and how we can, and not allow ourselves to be drawn in to the drama they choose to live in. And I would suggest also, who's the power of attorney for your mother?
I am.
Good. Would you recognize power of medical also?
Oh, say the last thing again.
I said, are you power of medical also?
Yeah.
I want to say,
and my sister.
Take time to evaluate the checkbooks and the money. I see him wanting to maneuver something there that he presents need where there's no need. It's greed.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah. It's so hard to really step away when you really feel like you're seeing something, Greg. It's just like, it feels like I'm not doing something that I could, and yet, so it's just
Well, it's a change for you. And I'm seeing you loving him where and when and how. But other than that, stay out of the energy because he would lie to you about everything anyhow. And I feel going to the doctor with him, he'd have a fit.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Greg. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That is the last reading.
And we just finished the last reading, and we're going to be off the air here. I'll give information. Information to reach me would be 716-595-3529 for appointments, either in person or by the phone or on Skype, and we can do it that way. And the phone number is 716-595-3529. If you want to do it through the email or computer, that would be www.rev, R-E-V, Gregory Kehn, K-E-H-N.com. All right? Well, thank you, too.
Thanks, Greg.
Hey,
thank you.
Everyone.
Sending love to everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
The 14th of November, we'll do it at 7 o'clock.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for your generosity.
Thank you, Leslie.
You're welcome.